the inspiration. Whenever you feel that the world is a liar, cruel and merciless, hope on my side. You gotta fight it with everything you have inside. You are a rock star, a superhero. Get up and show 'em what you're made of. You know what you are, so let the fear go. Get up and show 'em what you're made of.
Good morning, good afternoon. Puberty. Try it again. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SATAL 2020. I am your host, Moltar, and today is Diamond League yet again. And I have to say, Supercut is not quite ready. Alpha Whiskey says it's so epic that he needs a little bit more time. So let's give him a little bit more time to get this thing ready to rock and roll, but no Supercut yet. I'm hoping after round one that it'll be ready to go and we can showcase it, but it is coming. So today, Diamond League, like I said, 64th Aggressors taking on Golden Crown in what I think is the longest transverse of the year. This is, I think it's Krimpsk against Vaziani. This is like 300 miles across. This is a long way. No tankers. Long way. Will fuel be part of this equation? Will it come back to bite anybody? We're going to have to see. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are already in the sim. We're not going to go back to the studio or anything like that because this is such a long transversal for this map. We're just going to hang out here. These guys are going to be departing here relatively soon within the next few minutes, and we will be getting this underway. Billy must be in a coma because he's still not back. So, Mustache must have commanded him not to show up today. So, here we are, all alone, making this happen. Again, this is Diamond League, 64th Aggressors, taking on Golden Crown. We are sitting here at Vaziani with 64th in their Ghost liveries and their Flanker liveries. For the second flight, I think the lead flight is taking Ghost. The trailing flight is taking, looks like, Arctic and Flanker. Looks like Arctic, which you will see right here. So looks like we got an F-14 flown by No Wheels. I think is Rio is Vadi, and then F-18 with Kripsk, F-16 with Tal Hermit, and then 3 lead 16s with Combs, Comey, and Yaga up in the front. Positron's 95 drops the Tier 1 sub. He's been back for 3 weeks, says, fights on. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Here in just a few minutes, these guys will be taking off, and it is a long, long, long flight. So we can take a look at how long of a flight this is. So here's Vaziani. And the enemy airfield, it's not Krimsk, it's Krasnodar. So let's see how long this is. 340 miles from base to base. That means 170 miles to Bullseye. That is a long way, ladies and gentlemen. Fuel management will be key to this matchup. Key. There are no tankers. And the reason there are no tankers is because there's just not tankers on all of the long maps. There's tankers on Anapa versus Tbilisi. I think there's tankers Krimsk versus Batumi or Kobaleti or something. There's not on all of them. It's just how it is. Some of them have them, some of them don't. And the reason we wanted that is to change up the tactics and the things that teams have to do in order to make the fight. So if you wanted tankers, you could take the different map. If you didn't want them, you take this one. And it just changes the dynamic at which the fight unfolds. So that's the reasoning behind that. Or at least my reasoning. That's what I thought. I thought would be cool. Teams can kind of dictate what they want to do. But how is everybody doing this fine weekend? I'm doing swell because finally the server, the DCS World Events server, is up and running. You guys can type !server and it'll give you all the information you need for our public multiplayer server. Tuhi asks, are the F-16s not taking bags? They are just waiting. So the F-16s are going to wait until they get the ready, then they'll put on the bags and refuel, because if you put on bags early and you refuel, it'll just refuel the bags and not the jet. So you put the bags on last, it'll refuel the jet first, and then you put the bags on. So you get 100% internal fuel, then you get 100% in the bags, and then you go from there. And I would anticipate today, because of how long this flight is with no tankers, they will be taking 3 bags. At least that would be my guess. So we can hang out here and see when they put their bags on. But dig those Ghost liveries. X-Men did an awesome job on those liveries, and I'm pretty sure ED actually adopted them. They became a ED livery. And he got Sky Miles that he hasn't gotten yet. ED. Give the man his miles. The liveries are awesome. Make it happen. Should be departing anytime. I think the wait times on both of these rounds are quite extensive. They're a little bit long. Teams are gearing up to get ready to go for this long fight. Crip says ED did adopt them. X-Men just hasn't gotten his miles. ED, compensate the man. Did an awesome job. I mean, look at those. Look at those liveries. Look at these things. They're amazing. Guy needs his miles. I think they depart here in about 30 seconds. But anyway, back to the server. So the server, the multiplayer server is up. It's called DCS World Events Public Multiplayer 411. So make sure you check it out. It is an attack defend mission. Supposedly there was a bug with the patch yesterday with data link for the Hornets, and it only worked in hot start. So that is going to be fixed. So be watching for that. I think we're also going to add some hot start aircraft, like 1 or 2 for each type. So be also watching for that. But let's get this server populated. I was in it yesterday, and there were like 10 people on it. I was getting 120 FPS anywhere in the air unless I was weeds in the trees. If I was weeds in the trees, I was getting like 80 at 1440 peeps. Awesome. These guys look like they're departing. Getting ready to rock and roll. So let's make this happen. All right, so I think it's time we take a look at what GC is bringing to the field. We got Gunslinger in an F-16, Dave in another F-16, and then Grippin in the right trailing F-16. So lead 3 ship of 16s. Looks like they're rocking all 120s. on their 6 pylons. And then in the trailing element, what do they have in those last 3? What is going on back here? So in the last 3, we've got Fuji in an F-18 Challenger, in an F-14, and then Mosin in another F-18. So Golden Crown is rocking 3 18s, a 14, and 3 16s, while 64th has 4 16s, an 18, and a 14. So Singleton Tomcats on both sides. Golden Crown has 1 more 18, and 64th has 1 more 16. We're going to leave the music on today because this is a long flight. 170 miles all the way into AO. In Bullseye. She's a long one, ladies and gentlemen. How do you guys think this opening part of this match is going to go? 170 mile, one way for each team. So 340 miles round trip to center of Bullseye and home. And they have to fight. And they have to fight. Look at this. Look at this. They're still 250 miles away from each other. Diagnosis says it better be a quick engagement. Man, if it's not, bad things are going to happen. Lawn darts, unfueled lawn darts will be had. Rook, the Viper actually does really well in long fuel fights as long as you stay out of gate. If you go in gate, the thing drinks fuel. But if you stay out of gate and you got the 3 tanks, you have 14,000 pounds of fuel. You double your fuel load with the tanks, with the bags. So it actually does rather well. People just have a tendency to stay in gate all the time, and it doesn't do well. It doesn't last very long when you do that way. When you treat her like that, she doesn't have much juice in the tank. It gets burned off really, really fast. So Draz, yes. How this works is the teams have to, they come in, it's a 6v6 for Diamond League. In Gold League, it's 4v4. They have to go in, beat the crap out of their opposition, control the bubbles. There's actually a bubble that exists that's invisible. It's about 100 miles across, 100 nautical miles across, that they have to control. So if you get there and control it for 5 minutes before anyone from the enemy team enters it, you win the round. But as soon as somebody from the enemy team enters, or the opposition enters, it's contested, and you have to kill them. If you exit the bubble, you cannot re-enter. If you re-enter, you blow up. The reason that's there is to force teams into engagements. It forces teams to fight. If they, if that wasn't there, this would be a huge fuel game, and people would just linger at their air bases and force somebody to fly from Vaziad all the way to Krasnodar, fight them, and fly all the way home. We don't want that. So we put these bubbles in to force people to fight. So you got to kill your opposition. Then, after you win, if you win, you have to fly home. Now, the losing team can say, no, we trust that you have enough fuel. You don't have to fly home. So it is what it is. If that happens, you don't have to land. They just move on to the next round. But if they say you got to land, well, you got to land. And if you run out of fuel and everybody dies, then that round is a draw. And then you move on to the next one. It's best 2 out of 3. And if, the best 2 out of 3 ends in a draw, then it ends in a draw. In the tournament, after the league, you'll just keep flying until there's a winner, because we can't have draws. Are you able to fire Phoenixes from outside the bubble? Yes. Yes, you are. It's not weapons free when you enter the bubble. You can fire outside of it, but, people in this league know how to defeat Phoenixes pretty well. So if you do that, you're probably not going to take the greatest shot unless you get somebody caught not thinking, caught too high, or whatever. That happens, and people do take those shots for that reason. But it's each their own. Sortisbed says, yeah, I was wondering the advantage of flanking down the coast. In what case? They're not flanking down the coast in this map, obviously, because it's so far away and you're so far inland. A lot of teams will take the coast over the water because you get much better situational awareness. Bandits can't hide in the mountains. It's much easier to spot people. Obviously, that's a two-way street. They can see you as well as you can see them. But a lot of teams, 64th included, who I fly with, I didn't fly in this match because I was casting or something, but I fly for 64th. So 64th, a lot of times, we like the water because you have better situational awareness. And yeah, you can hide from the AWACS, but remember, when you're hiding from the AWACS and you're in the mountains, odds are you have degraded situational awareness too. And if you're against a team that knows how to scan and they're high, they are going to see you over those mountains. It's going to happen. And if you get caught low against somebody that's high and can see you over mountains, guess what? Their missiles can see you over mountains, and you're probably in for a bad time. Because being in the mountain valleys, it diminishes your ability to notch. And when you're low, instead of being high, it also diminishes your ability to regain airspeed from energy. So there's trade-offs for everything. Obviously, you don't want to be high in certain situations. You don't want to be low in certain situations. So these are just things that people need to be aware of. That there's advantages to being over the water, and there's disadvantages to being over the water. There's advantages to being in the mountains. There's disadvantages for being in the mountains. So there's lots of that stuff. Drazen says, I appreciate the explanation. My bud Combs brought me here today. We are in an Arma unit together, so you know I got to show my support. Combs still plays Arma? What? I did not know this. Why? I fly with Combs. How did I not know? Did he just start playing Arma? What is this? Sortisbed, speaking of the Tomcat, does anyone know if they plan to add the C or the D? I would love it if they add the D. I don't know that they ever will. A glass Tomcat would be pretty cool. That would be really, really cool. I don't know that they'll ever add it, though. There are tons of people that still play. I didn't mean that there's no one that plays Arma. I meant I didn't know that Combs still played Arma. I wasn't aware of that. That's what I meant. Just that. That's all I meant. I play Arma every once in a while when I have time, sometimes. But lately I haven't really had time. Let's see how far apart these guys are still. So they are 170 miles still. Looks like they're breaking into formation as Comey breaks away. Looks like they're going into spread. Yeah, there goes Combs. I think it's Yaga leading this flight. So I think they're going... Comey looks like he's coming into Stinger. So Comey in this particular situation, who we just saw previously on that camera angle, is going to go into a Stinger formation, which means he is going to... give you guys a view. So Comey's egressing. He's going to form up back here. And he's going to provide some space about 20 miles behind the lead 2 ship. And that's just going to give everybody via PPLI a picture as Yaga and Combs egress, if they do egress. He's going to provide a picture because he's still going to be hot while Yaga and Combs are cold. And Cripps, meanwhile, over here, and Tau Hermit look like they're doing the same thing. So no wheels in the F-14. I think Vatty's going to be his Rio, is going to be the one that is going to be leading for this one. So this one's going to be a reverse Stinger with the Singleton up front and the 2 ship in the back. Typically, it's a 2 ship in the front, being more aggressive, and a Singleton in the back. But they're doing it reverse, getting that 14 in there aggressively, getting those Phoenixes. The telephone poles off and in the air. If we look at Golden Crown, they've got a 3-ship wall. I assume Mosin is supposed to be somewhere up here. Looks like they're running 2 3-ship walls coming in here, which is perfectly fine. It could be a 2-ship, a 2-ship, and a 2-ship. So when these guys turn cold, they've still got this 3-ship hot to provide a better picture via PPLI. The F-16s, the F-18s can send radar contacts and stuff to one another. The F-16s don't transmit, right? Yeah, they do transmit, but never mind. They can transmit contacts that they see on radar, and they can also transmit who they're locking on. Gordo B has been gifting subs. He gave one to Drazen. Thank you very much, Drazen. Welcome to the family. And gave a community sub, 2 of them, to Mustang and Nick Fa, F08. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the family. Hopefully you enjoy the show. And thank you to all the follows that happened off stream. Much appreciated, guys. So I saw the 64th guys jettison their tanks. So Yaga lost his center line. These guys are jettisoning as soon as they run out of fuel to diminish their drag. Or reduce their drag. Make them more efficient, fuel efficient coming in here. And this you can see if we take a look back at 64th. They're now in their Stinger. Yaga's 3-ship, or Stinger formation, is leading just a bit over the Eastern 3-ship of No Wills, Tau, Hermit, and Cripps. I think Cripps is leading this 3-ship. I think. Pretty sure. But the F-18 historically gives better SA to everyone. So it is always nice to have at least one of them in your flight or in your group. Separation between the flights, the opposition is 116 miles. So we're starting to get into a point where the Phoenixes may start to become a factor. We may start seeing them come off the rails. And if they catch somebody high, they are extremely dangerous because they do a very good job of maintaining their energy, which causes more drag center or wing mounted. After talking to Mover, I was wrong. The center line actually causes less drag, but it's jettisoned first in our cases because it's a smaller tank and it's better to get rid of the drag that you can while maintaining fuel than having 3 bags going through the wing tanks first and then coming in with your center line, at least in my opinion. But he said they never took a center line with wing tanks because they're too heavy unless they were ferrying. And if they did take a center line, it was by itself. And they actually did use the center line a lot of times for BFM and BVR training and stuff. They did that a lot. But in combat, it was almost always 2 wing tanks, from what Mover says. So I was wrong about that initially. Something else that I want to clarify that I'm going to do more investigation on is supposedly the ST-10 that we saw from last stream is behaving correctly. And I had forgotten that the ST-10 is actually a much newer missile than the 120C. And it has a sustainer motor. So it's actually able to, it has a second motor that burns after the main burn motor goes out that tries to maintain the missile's energy state as it ingresses towards its target. DECA has tried to simulate that via drag reduction from what I understand. So supposedly ED has looked at the missile and have verified that it is indeed okay, that it is performing correctly. Take that as you will. I had evidence sent to me yesterday, so this is just what I've been told and what I've read. So you guys are free to obviously investigate on your own, but supposedly the ST-10 is indeed behaving correctly. And DECA obviously couldn't make it have a second motor, so they modeled it through drag, which in and of itself, I don't really like that mindset because it can cause its own set of problems, which I don't really like because obviously if you reduce the drag, you're reducing it from what I understand. Now, I haven't looked at the code or anything. You're reducing it in virtually every facet, so when it turns and all that stuff, but maybe if it had a sustainer motor, it would have that anyway, so who knows? Who knows? But supposedly, the ST-10 is performing correctly. It's the seeker head that is supposed to be between the B and the C. And from what I understand, the ST-10 is a much heavier missile than the 120, so it kind of makes sense that it would have more fuel and the sustainer motor and all that stuff. So these guys are now separated by 44 miles. We're going to start to see things coming off the wings, and there indeed goes the first missile from Yaga. Did I see that? It went. Where'd it go? There it goes. It's taken off against the blue sky, so we can see it disappearing. It's 2 miles up, or 2 miles away already, going away and heading towards its target. And Combs has launched his missile. Where's Combs? There's Combs, so we can see that missile taking off and on its way to its target. And Yaga is diving aggressively. So he's cranking and diving. He's going to maintain lock through the dive, I think. It's usually what happens during that maneuver. And these missiles are starting to ingress on their targets. Let's change to some different music. And this 120 coming from Yaga is still at 1,700 knots. Coming in against Gunslinger. Gunslinger's at 25,000 feet. Is he going to be caught high? So Gunslinger launched a 120 of his own. I think he's going to be okay getting away from this. Let's get split screen here so you guys can see Gunslinger defending. There's the missile behind him, about 4.5 miles. Looks like he's going to be perfectly A-okay getting away from that. No problems coming from them. Mark 60 now launched from No Wheels. We can see it departing No Wheels' aircraft, and it is taking off, so we're going to grab it. Here's the Mark 60. It is at 2,200 knots, climbing through 55,000 feet. This thing's going to be a beast when it reaches its intended target. That was launched from 75 miles. 75 miles! Was it launched on a hot contact? It's now at 2,800 knots, 64,000 feet. Let's go to split screen so you guys can see it ingressing here. So here's the missile. As it ingresses, it looks like it's on Challenger. Challenger's at 26,000 feet, very fast, 750 knots. Missile still at 2,400 knots. It's going to have an aneurysm, though, as soon as it goes to terminal guidance. There's the aneurysm. Doesn't know what to do with itself. Bleeds all kinds of speed. Challenger's still not defending. Challenger's at 26,000 feet and diving. Where is he? I don't see him yet. Still don't see him. There he is, 10 miles away. Challenger! Challenger! You better do something, brother! Still not defending. Still not defending. Is it going to be a kill? Oh, the missile. Oh, the missile. What are you doing, missile? Go home, you're drunk. Getting rid of all of your speed? Why? And then you get line of sighted or notched and you lose track. You're terrible. Just bad. Makes me so sad. And then it disappears into the brush. Gets taken by the ninja squirrels and she's gone. Gone, gone, gone. Supposedly that's been fixed in the latest updates. Supposedly. Anyway. Back to this. So nobody's been taken out yet. First, several missiles have been fired. We've had 3 come from 64th. At least 1 or 2 come from Golden Crown. Fix the camera so you guys have a better idea of what's going on. Reminder that you guys can see real-time telemetry through TacView if you log into TacView Advanced and then use the connection info from the bot. So you can type !TacView to get that information so you guys can really have your own screen that you can drive around and get all the information, telemetry data, whatever you want while the stream is taking place. If you guys want to take advantage of that, make sure you check out !TacView to get all of the needed connection info. Reminder, you have to have TacView Advanced in order to connect to it. Ninja Squirrels, Gordo, they're always out there. Always trying to take that Phoenix tech. If I remember right, the Iranians were never able to actually make more Phoenix, so they modified missiles to put on the Tomcats. Maybe they're trying to take the Phoenix to modify for themselves. I don't know. Could that be it? Did the Iranians, were they ever able to make the Phoenix? I know they got some, but were they ever able to make some themselves? I seem to remember them modifying surface-to-air missiles and putting them on the Tomcats and air launching them. They made the Falcor, or Fakior. Okay. Was that a modified missile? They made a Phoenix compy. Okay. Well, I'm making a joke. I don't understand. I'm too dumb to understand. Retired man, that's not nice. You're just exposing how low on the IQ spectrum I am. It's not fair. I no longer like you. But anyway, these guys are ingressing. 120 again coming off the rails. 37 miles here from Gunslinger. That's just, I can't do it. The music's too much fun. Music's too much fun. Nah, we're going to turn it off. We're going to turn it off. So Gunslinger launches a 120 from 37 miles. Cripps and Tau Hermit are now ingressing. Separation is now 29 miles in this. So we got a 2-ship from Golden Crown, 2-ship, possibly 3-ship from 64th. So 64th has the numerical advantage. This is the Stinger formation, the North Stinger formation for 64th, South Stinger formation from 64th. So they're still maintaining their shape, though now they're symmetrical with no wheels in the Stinger position. So he launched the Phoenix and then resumed his trail position. 120 is being exchanged between Tau Hermit and Gripen. Gripen immediately unsupports his missile. That missile may not even track. Well, it is. It shouldn't. How's it tracking? It's not even being guided. How is that tracking him? I guess INS. It's probably just flying to that location. If it was more pronounced and Tau was out here, I doubt we'd see it try and traverse out there. 120s were launched by Cripps and just by Cripps. I think, no, Yaga did not launch one. So 120 was just launched by Cripps. Nothing really happened there. Yaga didn't even launch. And then the Southern Stinger really needs to move up and be more aggressive here. They're a little bit too far away to make their presence known in this fight. I like Golden Crown's positioning here. They're much closer together, much easier to provide mutual support in this situation. It's just a better position that they've got going on here with this 4-ship. Maybe Gripen and Mosin could come down here and get a bit closer. They're pretty isolated by 15 miles. So if they get jumped, like if Tau Hermit or No Wheels were able to come around here, they could be in for a bad time. But there is AWACS in this match, though it is 70 miles in the trail of each one of these formations. So the AWACS is trying to pick up people that are over 100 miles away. So coverage is probably going to be spotty at best, given this situation of how far things are away in this map. We've got, well, I thought Challenger was going to ingress, but he's not. So we've got Fuji now ingressing. Let's go to split screen so you guys can see what's going on. So Fuji's right here. Well, thought he was ingressing, but it looks like Fuji's actually just going to rejoin with Dave. And Dave is right there. So Fuji is coming forward and then doing a hook turn to rejoin with Dave in a 2-ship spread. I like the mutual support here. I like the patience, the commitment to staying with your wingmen. It really ends up benefiting you in the long run. It's really good to hear. And quick note, Alpha Whiskey did finish the supercut. I do have it, so after this round, we will be able to see it. Supposedly, it is baller. And there goes the center line for Fuji. Fuji's already jettisoned his wing tanks. That was the center line. Dave is now hot. So Dave is right here. Dave. There's Dave. So Dave is now ingressing on his lonesome. And Dave's nearest hot friendly is 18 miles to the north. 18 miles. Meanwhile, look at the 64th side. So instead of just 2 here, I guess we can count Gripen, who's way up here to the north. So we've got a 3v4. So we've got Combs, Yaga, Cripps, and Tau Hermit all hot for 64th, and then Dave, Gunslinger, and Gripen hot for Golden Crown. So it looks like 64th has a 4-ship that'll commit together and go cold together, and then a 2-ship that'll commit hot and cold, and then Golden Crown on the flip side of that has a 3-ship and a 3-ship. Separation between this is now 13 miles. Still riding along with Dave, who's down here. Dave is vibing with his brakes out, as Eclipse Task Force has pointed out. Dave That is not doing you any favors, unless this is a fashion statement. Maybe he's like a peacock, you know, showing he's putting out that as his display of how beautiful he is, which can be intimidating. 310 knots climbing through 20,000 feet. Yaga is still hot against Dave. Yaga has sorted, looks like, on Dave now. Gunslinger's turned cold. Grippin is up here to the north. He is hot in a exchange of 120s between Tau Hermit. Dave is now extending, and Dave has not been shot at. Oh, Dave. Oh, Dave. Oh, Dave. So now Yaga's got this 120 coming in on him, and it is 800 knots. So let's jump to Yaga's point of view, and we'll do split screen again so you guys can see what's going on. Where? There's that 120. So there's the 120. It's 5 miles away. So the 120 is here that Yaga is defending. I mean, he's not in gate. He recognizes already this thing's not a factor. I don't need to worry about it. I'm just going to saunter my ass on out of here. Not a real big problem. Whiskey points out, how, Dave, you having spoilers and AB on at the same time? Yeah, that's kind of a problem. It's kind of an issue. And he has 2 tanks on. And maybe he's just trying to burn through those tanks and maintain his speed. The inner workings of Dave's mind are unknown to us. Sometimes we just forget the brakes. I forget them all the time on departure. Like after I've landed, refueled, rearmed, and I'm taking off on a public server, I forget that my brakes are out all the time. I'm like, why am I so slow? And it's because my brakes are out. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. AIM 54 is coming in on Combs. I don't think that's going to be a factor at all. No, it's not even tracking. Unfortunate. Very good job by the guys recognizing threats early. This thing's not even tracking. Can show you on split screen where it's at. So here's the AIM 54 coming in on Combs. Combs has recognized this is no longer a problem. I'm going to recommit, and Ninja Squirrels are going to get another Phoenix. Here it comes. No explosion. They have claimed another live round. It is theirs. They're getting closer to Phoenix technology. They're building it. 120 now being launched by Fuji from 23 miles. I'd like to see them conserve these weapons a bit more. Another AIM 54 being launched by Golden Crown's Challenger. That's a better position. That one's under 30 miles. So we're going to grab this one and see how this one does. This is already coming down 2,000 knots. It's coming in on No Wheels, who is the 64th Tomcat. It looks like it's tracking. Challenger is supporting it. No Wheels launched a AIM 54 on Mosin. So we're going to grab that one. We're going to go split screen so we can watch them both. So the one going after No Wheels is on the right. The one going after Mosin is on the left. And the GC launched Phoenix on the right is totally out of energy. And it has its aneurysm. And then No Wheels is 54 on the left. Just had its aneurysm. Needs to go to the hospital. Is ingressing on Mosin. If it didn't do that, it would probably have 200 to 300 more knots of energy. And it may be able to catch Mosin. But it's not going to do it now. Look how close it's getting. If it didn't have an aneurysm, Mosin could be dead. Just unfortunate. I don't know why they do that. Combs and Gunslinger now exchanging. Combs is in a bit of trouble as that missile's coming in. Whoa. Split screen. Can we see it? Where's my cursor? Where's my cursor? Can we see it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it above him? Is it above him? I don't see it. Oh, it hit the ground. So it was somewhere back there. Combs is decently fast, so he was able to line of sight it and drive it into the ground. Thought it was going to be more of an issue than it actually was. But Gunslinger did a good job of launching on somebody that he thought was going to get caught unawares. So well done by him. Diagnosis, I think it's a bug. I really think it's a bug, and supposedly in the latest patch, or the patch before we got the A10, it's been fixed. But I haven't tested it, and I haven't flown enough to know. Does anybody know? Is it fixed? Supposedly it's been performing better. I've seemingly noticed that Phoenixes seem to have a bit better energy. Now Yaga is hot, coming in on Gunslinger. He's got to watch out for Dave, though. Good old Dave. Dave, you still have your air brakes out. Dave, what is this? So let's go to split screen so we can see what's going on. Yaga is now ingressing, so we're going to flip over to Yaga's view. He's ingressing against Gunslinger. Gunslinger's at 12,000 feet, launches at Yaga. Yaga is able to line of sight that and get out of there really effectively. And now the man to watch looks like it's going to be Comey, as Comey ingresses from high altitude, 20,000 feet, onto Gunslinger. And we can see Gunslinger moving from right to left, coming over the valley. Gunslinger's right here, 8 miles away from Comey, and Comey's in a prime shooting position on Gunslinger. Gunslinger doesn't have any mutual support. His closest hot asset or hot friendly is going to be Fuji, who's down here. And there's Gunslinger, and Comey is indeed balls to the wall, ingressing onto Gunslinger. There goes a 120. Fired from, looked like over Mach 1. Coming in on Gunslinger. Is it going to hit? Looks like it's going to be a bullseye. And face mile. Gunslinger gets taken out and is the first casualty of this round. Now let's pause that because we need to regroup here. Things have a tendency, once things start to happen, they happen very, very quickly. So I want to make sure that we're not missing anything in this scenario. So Comey, let's regroup here. Sorry, we're going to go to the map where my cursor isn't freaking out. We're going to regroup here and take a look at the overall field of what's going on. So Gunslinger just got taken out in this position by Comey. He tried to defend into these mountains. Comey put a 120 on him, recognizing that he was starting to turn, put the 120 on him. He had to defend from under 5 miles. That was nigh undefendable. He had to line of sight that or perfectly notch that to be able to get away from it. So that was a problem. And Fuji was just too far away to provide assistance to Gunslinger, who was in dire need of it. So that's a problem. And the other issue I see is look how separated these guys are. They're up here in who knows where. They're just separated. Mosin and Grippin are just on their own. So let's hit play, see how it's going to go. I think this is going to be the next thing to watch because there's some isolation here, and we may see Cripps, Tau Hermit, and No Wheels turn into this and create a 2v3 scenario and just not care about this two-ship, as Tau Hermit may be able to push them off with a couple 120s, which is what I anticipate will be coming. So Tau Hermit is now hot. No, he's not going to launch anything. We do see a Phoenix coming from Challenger, and that's going to have some pep in its step into the ground. Okay, it didn't have any pep in its step. The ground ate that one. Now Cripps is head on against Mosin. Is this going to be the next scenario? Cripps is low. Very, very low. We're going to go to split cam view for these two scenarios. So we've got Cripps on the right, Mosin on the left. We can see Cripps is the contact 7 miles just off of Mosin's 2 o'clock, 120 launch from Cripps from under 6 miles on a high Mosin. Mosin may be too close to Cripps to try and defend this. He needs to go straight down. Mosin, you need to do something. Missiles 1 mile, under 1 mile, still ingressing, still hot, half mile, 0.2 miles, base mile. Mosin, second casualty of the match, just waited too long, got caught too high, and got taken down, and is now part of the landscape. Well done by Cripps, recognizing that that was the next possible target. And now we've got Grippin. Grippin's got Tau Hermit now coming in on him. Where's Tau Hermit? He's here somewhere. Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him. But there's a missile coming. Missile coming from Tau Hermit on Grippin 6. Under a mile. Half mile. Third casualty right there, ladies and gentlemen, as Grippin gets taken down in a 1-2-3 fashion. Gunslinger getting taken down first. Mosin getting taken down second. And then Grippin getting taken down third. And Golden Crown is just getting hammered. In the last 2 minutes, they have lost 3 pilots. Count them, 3. It is now a 3v6. Golden Crown is in trouble. I mean, look at Golden Crown's positioning here. Golden Crown is these 3 guys right here. They're effectively surrounded in a concave, right? Cripps and Tau Herman are coming up here to the north. Combs, Yaga, and Comey are down here to the south. 120 being launched by Combs. That's on Challenger. It picked up Challenger, and I think it's going to be... Oh! No. And now Yaga's coming in against Dave. This looks like a pretty good shot position. Dave's probably not going to know he's there. Let's get Dave's position here. So Dave and Yaga now ingressing against one another. F-16 against F-16. Yaga comes off, sees Dave. It's like, I want nothing to do with that. Line of sight's that, so let's break off of Yaga's point of view. That's an AIM-9X. And now Comey is coming in to help the egressing Yaga. Combs is much higher. 120 now being launched by him, immediately defending. That was launched from under. Oh no! Dave! Air brake Dave! Is no more. The ground has claimed him. And now it is a 2v6. I sense bad things happening for Golden Crown here very soon. Bad things are coming indeed. Bad things are happening. Let's bring back the music. Betrayed by his air brakes. As Swordvon says, he was taken down in a tragic way. Air brakes just caused him... I don't know, squirrels must have grabbed him by the brake and pulled him down. And he was claimed by the ground. Unfortunate. But that is the way of the air brake. Now it is Challenger and Fuji, the only 2 remaining. Cripps now ingressing on Challenger. Challenger ingressing on Cripps. F-14 against 18. AIM-9 against 120. I sense 120's going to win. Cripps line of sights the AIM-9. And just for good measure, Challenger gets the double tap, as is required sometimes against the F-14s. And now it is a 1v6. 1v6. Fuji's all by himself. Looking like he's going to be totally surrounded. How many missiles does Fuji have? That is the question. 3, 2 AIM-9s, 1 120. He must be a master with his gun. I think he's got it in him. Fuji, the man of the hour. Can he make it happen? He's dragging a 120. There's the 120. Sorry, you guys didn't see the missiles that he was carrying. He's got 3. 120 on the belly. On his left side, and then 2 AIM-9s. So Fuji is defending. Let's go to split screen so we can see what's going on here. Fuji being caught up on. Combs, 20,000 feet. Yaga, 15,000 feet climbing. Cripps, 20,000 feet. Tau Herman, 15,000 feet climbing. No wheels, 15,000 feet climbing. Comey, 25,000 feet climbing. Bad things are about to happen. Bad things. High opponents. Low target. Bad things are incoming. They see him. They know where he's at. If only one of these guys sees him, everyone will know. He's now egressing away. Combs is probably going to be the first to pull the trigger. He's 8 miles behind Fuji. Let's grab Combs' perspective here as he comes in. So here's Combs. 20,000 feet, 430 knots. No need to rush in. He's at a saunter, or probably full buster. Chasing him down. Fuji is full defensive mode in the mountains, but you can see when you're high, you don't care about the mountains. You see everything anyway. So Combs definitely still sees him. Might lose him for a second behind this taller peak. He does. But I'm going to guess that Tau Hermit or Cripps is going to be able to see him. And Combs sees him again, so he's just maintaining. Just staying high, recognizing no threat. If he gets launched on, he can break away, convert his altitude into energy. No problem. No problem is had. But Fuji is slowly getting caught as he has to defend here and stay in the valleys. The valleys aren't straight, so he's got to turn and meander, trying to find a way to break into this. Trying to find a way to come in. A little bit of warp there. Fuji's now on the right. 120 now launched. On to Fuji. 3.5 miles. Let's go to Fuji's perspective. Is he going to be able to get away from this? He's warping a little bit. Doing the dance. Doing the dance. Lots of warp. Lots of warp. 120 doesn't know what to do. It freaks out. Can't stay with him. Fuji now ingressing. Fuji full defensive mode. Full warp mode. Missiles coming from everywhere. Missiles from the front. Encountering the warp. Don't know what to do. One thing a chap. Fuji warps. Defeats the missile. Warps again. Defeats another missile. Launches a 120 on no one. Yaga's behind Fuji. Will Yaga be able to overcome the warp? 120 now coming from Yaga. Will the warp be enough to save him? Fuji warps through another one. Fuji warping, defending. Warps through another missile. Yaga defending, launches another 120 from 1 mile, half mile, flares, warp, defends again. Missiles everywhere, warp everywhere. This defense, the warp, it's amazing. Fuji is still alive. Deploying his countermeasures in warp hugely effectively. Still alive and kicking. Still with 2 missiles remaining. Can he make it work? Still 6 pilots from 64th. Fuji now recommitting, and the warp wasn't enough. He finally gets taken down and becomes a pencil, and the ground claims another victim. No, warp. Finally. Dead. Sorry guys, we had to have fun with that. Oh, sometimes you just gotta roll. He defeated a lot of missiles. Man. Oh, I think that was the AOA stuff. I think. I don't know what that was. It was warp. That's for sure. Oh, but that was fun. Warp defeats missile warping again. Countermeasures warp. Yeah, you know that's what the real jets do. They teleport. You guys didn't know that? F-35. That's why it's so amazing. It can teleport. Somebody should clip that. Please clip that. Somebody, please. I think that's awesome. We need to put that on. Somebody put that on Hoggit. I think that's hilarious. Anyway, these guys are now RTB. There's only 3 of them. I don't know where the other 3 went. Maybe they disconnected because they were low on fuel. Nobody died. I guess there's 4 of them. I didn't see anybody die or get hit by a missile, but running out of fuel is definitely a possibility. Or getting hit by friendly missiles. We'll have to see what the TAC view shows. Not entirely sure what that's going to show. But let's jump, take a look at the TAC view, and see what actually happens. So let me pull that up. If I were a TAC view, where would I hide? Boop. Oh, okay. When I talk this much, I always have to burp a lot. I don't know why. Make sure this is the right TAC view. No, it is not. This is the right TAC view. Okay. Make sure you guys can see it all. Tech view. Okay. So let's take a look, and you guys are looking at the map. You shouldn't be looking at the map. We don't want the map. There's a formation here somewhere. No, there's not. There we go. Okay, so you guys can now see that. So let's have a look at the TAC view. Let's see what happens. Things happened here, especially as the match unfolded. So everybody was pretty patient at the beginning of this. Nothing really happened for a while. Both teams were patient. Both teams took their time, saved missiles. Uh-oh. No, he's not out of fuel. I think he's... Who is this? Comey may be rejoining on Combs. I think that's what's happening. Oh! That's not what I want to do. There we go. So these guys are all being very patient. Everybody's keeping their altitude decently well. Everybody's defending very well on both teams. No, Wheels, what is this? Just save that. You don't need to launch that. You're not... You don't want these guys to turn around. You want to create scenarios where they ingress into you not having the full picture, and you create a scenario where you can jump on them from a side. Don't launch on them. Save that missile. You may need that later. I know people are like, but I can spoof a Phoenix. But what does that do? They're just going to turn around. It's not going to kill anybody. Save it. No reason to launch that. Especially no Wheels if you're just going to turn around. Like, why? Rio? What is that? What is this? Don't do that. So everybody does a really good job of defending early, not putting themselves into precarious situations. AIM 54s are trashed really well. I don't understand this. Grippin and Mosin are so far to the north. They're just not factors in this fight. Maybe, did No Wheels push them off? Well, 64th's doing a really good job of keeping them up there. I'd like to see 64th kind of drive in here and push up, which is actually, I think, what ends up happening and is why Mosin and Grippin die almost simultaneously. We'll see how that transpires. We're coming up on the Gunslinger kill. Gunslinger gets away from that one. This is the one from Comey. No, where is it? Maybe it's later. It's not now. So this is when Gunslinger gets run down. Look at the altitude differences here. Gunslinger's at 8,000 feet. Combs and Comey are at 20,000 feet. Comey's at Mach 1.4. No, he's not. That's G 1.4. He's at Mach 1.2. That's still good. And he's accelerating. He's going to let this loose at over Mach 2. This is a missile that is designed to make people have a bad time. 4-mile 120 launched at Mach 1.2. Gonna have a bad time. He tries to line of sight it. He's too fast to effectively notch perfectly. He comes out of the notch and just smash! Boom! Taken down. Great shot by Comey. Would have liked to see him be a little bit more aggressive on the defense. Because if Gunslinger would have come in there and grabbed a quick lock, Comey could have been in a bit of a pickle. But he's able to make it work. So next casualty is going to be up here to the north. It's going to be Cripps against Mosin. And you can see here what I was talking about earlier, having these guys try and drive in and create a wedge is exactly what ends up happening. They drive in and have now separated or cut off Mosin and Grippin from the rest of the group. They can't get down here unless they go back and around. They can't. They can't get down here. These guys are just going to drive through. They're going to push them back, create a 3v2 scenario, and then if Challenger wants to help, well, now this is a 3v3. Now you've got a 3v2 down here. Yeah, next round will follow right after this one. So Cripps ingressing gets Mosin, both low. Cripps recognizes that he's low. Getting a little aggressive there, but I think he may recognize that Mosin's not very fast. So he waits on the launch, recognizes that he's lower than Mosin. And if Mosin defends down, he's going to give all of the advantage to the missile because the missile don't have to climb. It does not have to go up. And if it doesn't have to go up, it can conserve its energy, and it can actually go down because Mosin's going down. So missile launched inside 5 miles. Mosin starts to descend slightly, actually doesn't do anything, and the missile's going to hit him at Mach 2. Right in the pooper. Boop! And there he goes. He gets taken down. So now it's a 4v6. Grippin is now all by himself. Now Tau Hermit is ingressing. And as soon as Cripps recognizes that Tau Hermit is ingressing, he is now ingressing with him to support him. I like that. I like that a lot. And No Wheels is actually ingressing on the same content. No, he's not. No Wheels, I think, recognized that these two need to be pushed off. So he's allowing the 2v1 to happen here and making sure that nobody else ingresses onto this engagement. If you got numbers, you got a serious advantage. Grippin gets hit by Tau Hermit. That missile takes off 5 miles. Man, these guys are Mach 1.3, 5 miles. Ooh. It's hammer time, ladies and gentlemen. Pow! Mach 3 takes him down. It's now a 6v3. Should have a Phoenix here coming from No Wheels or not. This was the missile that I didn't get. What is this? Why doesn't this track? It's not being notched. Is it? Oh, maybe it is. No chaff. I guess it was notched. Doesn't look like a notch angle. Maybe it is. But he doesn't even chaff. Like ED with the 120C, let's increase the notch resistance to the Doppler effect. I understand the chaff, but if these guys aren't going to chaff, and you guys are saying you're increasing the countermeasures efficiency, decrease the effect of the notch because the 120C has a better seeker head. Oh, did it follow lead into the mountain? I don't think it did. Because I don't think it did. Let's watch it. Can I get it? Let me get the missile. Why can't I select it? I can't select the missile. Let's back up. There we go. Okay, so let's follow this missile. I don't think it followed lead into the mountain. No, it's not even tracking. He's up here. That thing got notched. I don't know what it's doing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe he got line of sight and we just see different things. I don't know. But now it's a 6v3. Look at that formation by the 64th. Yaga recognizing he's in a bit of trouble. Doesn't ingress. Dave takes a good shot. That's a good shot by Dave. Though, you know, putting your air brakes in may be beneficial, Dave. Aiming on X. So this match, even if it wasn't won, would have been won by 64th. Because that is a banned weapon. But it doesn't matter. Dave maybe recognized I launched a bad weapon and just plummets into the ground. Bleep. Gave up on life. Maybe he was out of fuel. 0.4 Mach. It's possible. Maybe he was out of fuel. So he gets taken down. Now a 4v2. Challenger is going to get railed. Cripps comes in. Good shooting position. Challenger shoots at him, but an aim 9 from 4 miles, it's not going to work. Cripps double taps him, recognizes it's a Tomcat. Sometimes the Tomcats, especially head-on, take more than one, and he gets taken down. And then let's watch the Fuji dilemma unfold here. So let's catch up. Here it comes. Here comes the Fuji happening. So here's the first missile. Lag, flips, lag, defense, lag, 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 defense, defense, missile, 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 defended, missile. Where did everybody go? Like, did they track? Oh. What happened there? What happened to No Wheels? Oh, No Wheels probably ripped the wing. No Wheels ripped the wing. Okay, so that's what happened to No Wheels. And then who else are we missing? Oh, and then Crips crashes. Huh. A lot of stuff happens in there. But I'm going to chalk that one up to the lag. We're chalking that one up to the lag. Not really sure what happened. He still died, but there was lag all over the place. Good lag defense coming by Fuji. Let's jump back into the sim and see how these guys' RTB is looking. Formation looks nice. Yaga's just out here by his lonesome. All by myself. I wonder how far more these guys have to RTB. Formation could use some warp. And Comey still has 4 missiles on his jet. And he got a kill. Talk about conserving ammo. It's pretty solid. Take it. They all fenced out. Lights are on again. How far do they have to RTB still? 70 miles. Oh, Combs says Crips died to ghost missile from last guy. Okay. Warp is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Do we think they're going to be able to make it back? I think just the sheer fact they're flying this close in formation, they're going to be fine. Gotta help somebody with something real quick. Pull up the old team viewer. Magical Mago, yes, it is their first season in SATAL. Carbon, yeah, they would win even without making it back because of the bandwidth. We're trying to put in a way to stop that. There are some scripts on our public multiplayer server, guys. If you want to check out the best multiplayer server in DCS. Do !server, and it'll tell you the connection info to get in there. We want to get it populated. It's on Syria. Come on. Make it happen. I know you guys want to. How far do they have to go now? RTB is now 60 miles, so I think they're going to be fine. Well, then I feel really bad for them starting against the 2 best teams. They wanted to find Diamond, so, you know, that's what it is. Jaster, when you were on, how many people were on? We got to get this thing going. We can put a second view on Yaga. That's fine. No, I don't think he may be low on fuel where he can't get in gate. There were 0 people on. Guys, come on. Make it happen. I know it'll take time to get it populated. Well, you guys got to go buy the Syria map. In my opinion, it's the best performance-wise, FPS and frame time server in DCS for public multiplayer, so make it happen. You should be able to do it with 16. There's not a ton of assets on the map. So 16 should be fine. We don't have thousands of assets on the map like GS and Blue Flag. It should be much better. Grab a different view for these guys. So Gordo gifted a tier 1 sub to Grumpy Finn, 1 to 81 Rook, 1 to Alpha Whiskey, 1 to Ionoic. I think I'm all caught up. So another 4 gifted subs. Thanks, Gordo. Welcome to the family, everyone. And now 100 bits dropped by Carbon, 1-4. Thanks, guys. That goes to paying off the 3090 that I got from Office Depot of all places. Hopefully it ships soon. It's supposed to be here on the 7th. I think I'm going to keep my 2080 Ti and run both. So I should have all kinds of abilities for cameras. So we should have some cool stuff. Hopefully soon. And then Diagnosis drops 100 bits. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. I know people are disappointed that we're not running the server, the multiplayer server on Caucasus, but I feel like there's tons of Caucasus maps. Like, what's the point? I'm just recreating something that other people have already done. There's no reason to do that. So we're trying to differentiate ourselves here. I know people have Syria. Caucasus is great, but I've flown DCS for years. Thousands of hours. You get bored of it. I want to fly somewhere new and exciting. Well, gambler, you should buy it and then ask forgiveness of yourself later. Makes you feel better. And then you tell yourself, well, I had so much fun flying on Syria, I don't need to ask myself forgiveness at all. Uh-oh. Yaga's out of fuel. He may be able to make it back, though. I mean, even if you cry more than once, Generic, it's okay. That's okay. Yaga is at 30,000 feet, 240 knots. And these guys have the brakes out now, so they are descending. Where are the airfields? There they are. They're right in front of us. Grab a different camera angle on these guys. Can I get... Give me the lead jet. It's not gonna get... There we go. So Yaga may be able to make it. Brock, the 9X is there just like a gravestone marker. I was here. Do not forget me. .64th is going to be fine. They're close enough. Still have fuel, 85% engine RPM. How far away is Yaga? Yaga may be fine. Because there's the lake. Well, maybe. No, they're not full Dave. They've got their air brakes out to manage their speed so that your wingmen have more throttle to play with to stay in formation. That's why they put the brakes out. Gives you more throttle room. So lead can stay at a higher engine RPM, and it gives your wingman a lot more room to play with. Instead of being on like the brink of idle or something, you don't have anywhere to go below that or above it, and nobody likes putting their brakes out and stuff to manage speed. It's a lot better to manage using throttle. Oh, Tau Hermit fell off there a little bit. He may be out of gas. I will say all the 16s made it back, and the 18 in the Tomcat, the ones that should have better fuel eco, did not make it back. '14 had bad wing eco. Yeah, it fell off. You have really bad eco if the thing's not even there anymore. Bad time. I imagine Combs and Comey are going to do an overhead brake here. Comey falling a little bit behind. Less draggy, but you need that wing to fly, unfortunately, in the Tomcat. Brake turn. There it is. Generic, couldn't anything still have control? I mean, theoretically, anything, if it goes fast enough, would have control. Even if it seemed uncontrollable, you could probably have control it some way. Oh, Tau goes straight in? Oh, he did. Tau landed. Okay. That makes sense. Captain Cleveland says he should use his bags as wings instead. Some aircraft let you do that in DCS. Jettison the wings and the bags will still be there. Yaga's still in the air. He's at 10,000 feet now, 25 miles. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, it's a sound mod. It's Echo 19 sound mod. You think Yaga's going to clutch? He's at 9,000 feet. I don't know. He's got to go 25 miles. He may make it to Tbilisi. I don't think he's going to make it to over here. I don't think that's going to happen. And Combs wheels down, nice and smooth. Comey will put it down on the right side now. Are they not on red? Oh, and there's no... Did we leave out the Vigan? Really? We'll look at that. Yeah, the F5 and the 21 should be on both sides, and the Vigan needs to be on there. HUD mod. What HUD mod? Are you looking at my mod pack? Is that what you're looking at? There's a bunch of HUD mods and stuff in there. You can use them or not use them, and it's up to you. Yeah, Jaster, it should be. The latest sound mod, I think. Yeah, Yaga's not going to make it. Let's go see what Yaga's doing. Yaga. I don't anticipate this going well for him. Those are power lines. Those are power lines. Okay, he's going to clear him. And grass. Yeah, he's fine. I think. Oh. I mean, he'll blow up as soon as he stops, but he didn't die. I mean, he will die when he blows up, but he didn't die on the landing. I guess you don't blow up if everybody's dead. Diagnosis, does that count as a kill? Well, not really, because there was an AIM-9X in this round. So, no. It doesn't count as a kill. It doesn't. Can somebody clip that so Comey can see it? I want the clip for my own uses. But let's jump back into the talk show and see what is going on. I got to show you guys the what do I got to show you? Supercut. That's kind of important, isn't it? So let's grab the supercut. I got to put it where I need it to be. Okay. Studio mode. Sorry guys, just grabbing the supercut and we will be on our way back into round 2. Okay. Boom. So we're going to go check out the supercut. We're going to come back here for a minute while I'm getting round 2 set up because there's a long delay before they take off. And we will see if Golden Crown is able to redeem themselves after getting hammered here in this round. You guys think they will? I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Comey says he doesn't remember this match. Comey flew in it. Chat, I want to know your predictions. What do you think is going to happen? Enjoy the supercut. I haven't seen this one, so we're going to have to see how it goes. Alpha Whiskey, it better be good. That was awesome. I hadn't seen that one before. That was fucking awesome. Alpha Whiskey, that was... Holy crap. Dude. They just keep getting better. Oh my god. I can't wait to see what you do in the future, man. This stuff just keeps getting better. I can't believe that where we started. I mean, you were great at the beginning, but just like how things have progressed and these cuts and stuff. Crap. It's nuts. You're impressed by most of these vids. all credit for that goes to Alpha Whiskey. The man is... He does some work. And the fact that he does so many of them, like you get 2 to 3 of them a week. It's like the guy, he's making a fan video every week. Multiple fan videos every week. Like, just think if he was able to, in the off season, right? After SATAL ends, what the guy's going to be able to do just for fan videos. That's fucking nuts. I know this is supposed to be kid friendly. I'm sorry, but I'm amped up because these are incredible. Like, that one was nuts. The music and everything. Oh, man. Baller. Amazing. Okay, I need to start fast forwarding and get off that. That was crazy. I got a ways to fast forward in this one, guys, so you're gonna have to be a little bit patient. But what is everybody's inclination of how this match is gonna go? How do you think it's gonna go? And while you guys are thinking about that, let's talk about what's coming this weekend. So we got Fight for Honor coming this weekend. We're probably gonna start like 1500 Zulu. Probably. I'm gonna put out a schedule today for everybody. Probably gonna start at like 1500 Zulu, and we'll go from there. Where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Please work. Please don't freak out. The next round's gonna be a private track because there was some issues with people not restarting the server correctly. And, you know, it is what it is. But the server wasn't restarted correctly, so I had to get a private track in order for this to work. So this one's going to be a private track. It should be okay, but I don't know how it's going to go. I haven't watched this track through. It works, supposedly, but hopefully it'll work well. So I'm going to fast forward here a little bit more. Needs to get, there we go. We got a ways to go here. Why are you back in the, oh, he reslotted, that's why. 13, there we go. My bass shakers and stuff are going nuts because this is a jet that I have, so it's like freaking out and my butt's rumbling. My butt is a rumbling. So we'll give this a minute while it fast forwards. Voice meter read. No. Why? Really? Let me try and restart it this time. Hold on. Is that any better? Did that fix it? Any better? It's worse. Okay. How about that? Better? If that doesn't work, no. Exterminate. Better? Please. Please fix. Okay. Good. I fixed it. So I just What? It's good now and then you say it's not good? What? Annoying. Annoying.